if we come together, and always remember what Yeshua said, when two are gathered in my name. You can apply that to marriage, you can apply that to spiritual communities. So we need to understand, when we dedicate our life to God, our relationships will work out. But our ego doesn't trust God. So our ego has no faith, so it says it needs contracts to control people. It needs to control the money, it needs to control the possessions, it needs to control their freedom. Because the ego wants constant access to safety and security. But the only thing the ego gets is dependence and dread. Because if I am afraid of death, and now I get married so I don't have to die alone, now suddenly I'm dependent, so I'm a slave to a condition. But what happens now when I meditate on death so profoundly that I find out that death doesn't exist? Suddenly I'm free to love, and my relationships will change from absorption, from trying to get to radiation. It means giving. Now, in that state of radiation, when we're tuned into God, there's abundance because there's never lack of energy. And since the physics of the universe work in this way, that if you radiate that energy is being mirrored back to you. If you radiate kindness and love and compassion and stop acting from fear and the need to control, in the same way, everything will start working out with you having to exercise control. The key to meet God is to become like God, which we ultimately are. We just need to remember. But then try to understand this. Does the sun discriminate in its radiation? So the sun shines on everything. It doesn't say, well, this one committed genocide, I'm not going to shine on him. So when we start through the human experiences, that very quickly is shifting right now into less of a human experience and more of a divine experience, when we start embodying the divine principles by applying them to our relationships stabilize, harmonize. But if we are in a position of lack and fear, we try to control our relationships through jealousy, material things, contracts. So then it's about having access to energy by imprisoning others. And that means going towards the dark energy. Yeah, fear leads to the path of the dark energy, where energy is not received from God directly, but stolen from other beings through manipulation. Yeah. In human society, this looks a little bit different for the genders. For the males, it's usually access to sexual energy when they feel energy deprived. So they are obsessed with sexual energy, and women are obsessed with safety. So they want a guy to provide a house and a car and whatever. Yeah. So the female energy, when it is unconscious, is addicted to other things than the male energy when it is unconscious. So what happens simply, again, the idea you cannot serve two masters. So when you take the word as evidence, you will serve the ego. But when you have faith, your world changes. It turns into more of a divine representation.